And now, presenting from across the pond, it's the Squared Circle Relics podcast.
And welcome along to the Squared Circle Relics podcast. My name's Jamie Stocker, and this is a brand new podcast here in the UK, looking at wrestling cards and collecting wrestling cards here in the UK, talking all about the triumphs and tribulations and everything else that goes on collecting wrestling cards here in the UK. Going to be joined by two other hosts on the show this week. Between the three of us, we are going to be talking all about the news and everything else that goes on in the world of wrestling cards. But this first week, we are going to be talking really about what we got into wrestling cards in the first place for, how long we've been wrestling fans, and really talk about the news and everything else that has been going on in the world of wrestling and wrestling cards as well. So this first part of the show, we're going to do an introduction into ourselves, when we first started collecting, and also what we like collecting in wrestling cards as well. So first of all, I've been a wrestling fan probably about 20 plus years. Started watching wrestling in the late 90s, early 2000s, and really started collecting cards about 10 years ago when I went back to try and collect some of these nostalgic sets for me. And I've been going on to be a base and a master collector from there. Now, as we're going through the series, we'll talk about obviously things we've got on our own personal collections and what we are collecting now. But that's a brief introduction to me, and I'll hand over to my co-host, first of all, Chris, and then on to Lloydy.
Thanks, Jamie. Good to be here with you guys. My name is Chris. You can find me on YouTube and Instagram at Cambridge Trading Cards. I've been a lifelong wrestling fan, dipped in and out at points, but always kind of still in the know of what's going on. Collected wrestling cards as a kid and stickers, kind of dropped off a bit in my teenage years, but fully back into it now. Over to you, Dave.
Very much same sentiments with regarding the history of watching wrestling. I've been an avid fan since probably the late 80s. Obviously, I've dipped in and out on occasions throughout life, but very much into it now, and really quite a novice when it comes to collecting cards. Like a lot of people, I think we're going to touch base with in the future. Very much started collecting around COVID time, so I've only been doing it really for about 2 years, and loved every second of it. I think it's been absolutely fantastic. I think the cherry on the top has obviously been meeting you guys and the communities that where wrestling card people hang out with. I think that's been absolutely fantastic. But yeah, it's my rookie cup year, should I say? And yeah, looking forward to learning along the way, but also contributing as well.
And that's the thing, like we've all been collecting cards, in different lengths of time and sort of seeing different things change over the years as well. And it's nice to actually have an idea of putting together people's new ideas and things. And like Lloydy just said, about bringing together a bit more of a community and things like that is what this is going to be all about, really. So before we start getting into obviously the thing with cards and things like that, where are we all at the moment in regards to watching wrestling? Do you really only follow one product? Do you follow a bit of everything? What are you currently at and what are you currently looking at, really?
I would say I follow a little bit of everything, but nothing in particular at the same time. So I'm not regularly watching any of the products, just about watching as what I can. It's hard with two kids. You don't get much TV time. What about you, Dave?
I'm kind of the same, but I do lean more to AEW. I mean, there's so much content out there, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
WWE, I really think is for small children and their parents, I'd say. I think AEW is more geared to us in our time of lives right now. Maybe a bit younger, but we're definitely still there. And I love it. I think it's great. New Japan's been fantastic as well. I've always loved New Japan, Ring of Honor, Impact. Not necessarily Impact in the last few years, TNA, should I say? I've always called it TNA, but it is what it is. But it's still a very good time to be a wrestling fan and a collector as well.
Yeah, I think a bit like me, really. I only really watch AEW. I'm a diehard AEW fan, been on board with them really from the word get-go. As soon as that first press conference was in that car park, I sort of latched onto the idea that was what I was going to watch religiously. I do kind of follow WWE via podcasts and sort of, clips on YouTube and stuff, so I kind of get to know what is going on. But really, like, if you watch any of the big fours, like, nothing really moves on that far, does it? Like, it's not exactly a very fast-paced product, and I don't think you need to watch the weekly TV at this point in time, especially 3 hours on a Monday, 2 hours on a Friday, and everything else in between. Like, there's just not enough hours, and it don't really warrant it for me. So, I'm AEW through and through, and sort of keep an eye on other markets as well, really. But I don't watch anything else other than AEW, really.
Did you watch the pay-per-view on the weekend?
I did. Yeah, I watched bits and pieces. I haven't sat down and watched the whole lot. I think the whole lot is just under 5 hours, including the buy-in. So I'm about halfway through, but I'll fast forward this through all the main bits and stuff, and I'll go back and catch more as I go, really. But yeah, I thought it was a good card, considering it was sort of beforehand, everyone's a bit underwhelmed that you're missing the big players, but I thought it was a really good card. Did you guys?
I started watching the buy-in last night, but fell asleep within about 5 minutes. Just due to being tired. So it's something that I'm going to try to watch tonight, but I kind of have already seen the results of all the matches, so I kind of know what's going to happen. What about you, Dave? Have you watched it?
So I have not watched it. Chris and I both have children, not together, but we both have children, and it is quite difficult to invest time straight off the bat to watch a pay-per-view. I'm looking forward to watching it. I've seen a lot of clips. I know the results. I was concerned about the card because I did think it was a little weak going into it, but I thought it was really good. Like, from what I've seen, I think there was a lot of fun there. The results, I think, were pretty standard, to be honest. I don't particularly want to go into massive spoilers on here. I think everyone knows that Cesaro turned up by now, and hopefully that you do. And if I spoiled it for you, never mind. But I don't. I mean, it was nice that he's now part of that company, but he's not a high roller. He never has been. He is a mid card. He's an upper mid card talent at best, and I wish him all the best. But I did think the wet mark hug from Tony Khan to him was a little strange, and that could have gone very differently. What do you guys think?
I think he's a nice fit for the Blackpool Combat Club. I think that's a nice extra person to have within that group. Yeah, I quite like the idea. I don't know, they haven't discussed this on there yet, but Regal's last match was with Cesaro in NXT, I think, wasn't it? His last competitive match. So I guess they'll go into that in depth. That it's another one that Regal's picked or hand-picked sort of thing. But that's quite good. It was a good match for Zack Sabre Jr. I don't know if you guys have seen the spot. He does an armbar over the rope, and then like Cesaro then picks him up with one arm and lifts him back into the ring by walking up the steps. There's like some cool like strength moments there and things like that. So I think he'll fit into AEW quite nicely. I think that's quite a good shout there.
The thing is, you never get a bad match between Cesaro and Zack. You know what I mean? No. Put them together, you're going to get some gold out of them. So
Lloydy, we'll talk about your British scene stuff in that case. Have you seen Cesaro and Zack Sabre Jr. in the UK market at some point? Did you see him at any point in time?
Oh yeah, they've Zack's always been around. I've spent a lot of time watching Rev Pro down in London, and he was always there. Southside as well. Cesaro's always been around though, hasn't he? I think I watched his first dark match for SmackDown actually in, I want to say Liverpool, but I can't remember.
I think you're going to be the person on the podcast that calls out these first time ever matches and say that they aren't the first time ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do know. I've seen a few first timers before, and yeah, I do have a bit of a memory like an elephant with that kind of thing. So yeah, when we go through, I'll try and keep myself honest the way through. I can't guarantee though.
So let's talk about what we're here mainly for, then, and that is wrestling cards. So what we're going to be doing each week is run through our general purchases that we've had over the past week, and also talk about, you know, what we've been involved with in regards to Razzies and breaks. So for anyone not familiar in what a Raz and a break is, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, but basically a Raz is basically a raffle where you basically pay a certain amount of money for a spot through a breaker, and then basically whatever gets picked out of that number, you then end up winning that number slot, basically. Is that correct? Is that pretty the idea of a Raz?
Yeah, there's different methods of doing the RAS. There's different ways of buying the product. You can do pick your wrestler, PYW, pick your wrestler. Yep, I got it that right. You can buy a pack. You can. There's multiple different ways.
Quite often with RASs, it's you'll sell say like 10 spots at a certain price, and then one winner gets picked. Whereas with a break, it's usually you all pay for a certain spot, whether it be a letter or a pack, and then you all win something, hopefully. So that's a sort of slight difference with it.
And there's also the options of obviously like some reses like winner take all type things as well, aren't there? So you can have all your spots and someone will basically get the entire box or the entire blaster.
Yeah.
So I'm fairly new to the Raz and break game. I've only been doing them over the last few months after you guys introduced me to them. Now, they are a lot of fun. There is also a lot of danger with them to a degree as well. And they can get sort of quite addictive. And we'll discuss those in a future episode in a bit more in depth. But in regards to purchases this week, let's run through what we've actually bought first of all. And what have you been involved with Raz and break-wise as well. So who wants to open up this week? Who wants to go through? Who wants to finish off? Who thinks we're in a bigger week?
I think Jamie, you're first. I'll go second, and then we'll finish off with the B-hole, Christopher.
Okay, so we'll keep things simple for me this week. So I was only involved in one break earlier in the week. It was a letter break, and I got the last slot, which is like the T, W, X, and Z, or all the weird letters right at the very end of the alphabet. And I don't think I got anything. So I was kind of hoping for an Undertaker or something like that, but I didn't really get anything of note in that sort of that break. So that was a bit of a it is what it is, really. And then the rest of the stuff, I had my mail day come through from the States. So everything that had been stored there over the last 3 months had it shipped over to me here. So I've now got my AW Canvas cards. I got a load of those via ComC. So I've now got the complete Canvas set.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so that's something I've been waiting for it to drop on ComC for some time. The prices for those. So anyone not familiar, they're originally part of a hobby box. So you only got 4 per hobby box. And originally when they went onto the secondary market, they were like $10, $15 a piece. Now on ComC, they're like less than 30 cents a card. So
wow, nice.
It's very much a case of waiting for those. So yeah, I got all of those. I've also completed my gold base. So I've gone through and got all of those and basically got them for less than $30. And again, they've dropped down in price something massively. And I've had a few relics come through for my War Games PC. So I'm a big fan of War Games 2019. So I've just picked up another fully loaded relic for that, which is Shayna Baszler. And I've also picked up a couple of the War Games relics from the Women's Division set as well. So yeah, a good week on the purchases, but they're sort of things I've had waiting to be shipped to me as such. But yeah, the last 3 months, that's what I've been buying, really.
Cool. So I haven't had a great week. I've done quite a few Razes now. I haven't really done well with them. I've done 4 pick your wrestler Razes. Oh no, sorry.
Letter break.
I apologise. Letter break Razes. I've done 4 of those. I think the best that I got out of it was an auto, and I did pick up an RK rated RKO. I want to say rated RK Bro. That would be a great triple team there. So other than that, I also did, a pick your wrestler break as well last night. I had Dolph and Gable Stevenson. That's not Gable Stevenson. That's Gable Stevenson. And I didn't do too well. From what I actually saw of it, I only think I got a Dolph Astro out of it, which pretty much sucked, to be honest. It wasn't great, but it never deters me. I always push forward. I think I'm done with Revolution, though. This was all for Revolution. I think I'm done with Panini Revolution now, and it's forward. I don't know really what's going to be next with regarding the breaks and the Razes and my participation in it, but of course it'll be something. I'm looking forward to it. Purchases wise, I picked up a couple of Revolution cards that I needed for the PC. I picked up a Dolph Cubic Shockwave out of 49. I picked up a Gable Stevenson out of 199 Angular. Very, very nice cards. I also picked up something quite big today. It's been on my list of I need to gets, and one of the most happiest person in I would say one of the most happy people in the world, Minoru Suzuki. He just loves to beat people up, doesn't he? He loves. He just loves to cause people pain, and you can just see it on his face, and he's brilliant. He's got a big following in the UK. He's been over for Rev Pro shows for. He was over for many years actually. I would say probably 2017 to 2020, maybe 19. He did a good run with us over in Rev Pro, and so I picked up a Minoru Suzuki signed 2018 Leaf Executive Collection Masterpiece 1 of 1. Now that's a mouthful, but it's a very nice card. You guys have seen it. What do you think?
Yeah,
I think it's
really
very nice.
Yeah.
And I think those 1 of 1s as well, like they just look a nice piece to have in a set. And again, like if you can get the right price on them, like you might as well, if you see them, grab them ultimately.
And it's someone you don't see a lot of. Do you know what I mean? You don't see tons and tons of his stuff. So yeah, really, really nice piece.
I love the autograph. So just to give you a visual of it, it's encased. It looks very nice encased, but it's a cut autograph basically. So it's from a piece of paper where an autograph has been on. They've cut it and they've made it into a card, and they've done this with many people. Just the FYI, Jamie, the Liger is there as well. If you want to, if you want to spend the big bucks, you can pick it up. But the auto for him is amazing as well. Really nice. So a couple of other things I did. I wandered past a bookshop the other day, and I did pick up King of Strong Style to 1980 to 2014 Shinsuke Nakamura. I actually, the first time I saw Shinsuke Nakamura over here was for Rev Pro in 2015. So it's really nice that I can fill in those 34 years beforehand and see how he got on. I'm a New Japan fan. I do know a bit of his backstory, but it's going to be a great read. I'll try to keep you updated. I can't guarantee on our next show that I would have read it by then, but I'll keep you updated with it. I'll give you some snippets of it.
We'll mention it too. We say, have you started that book? You say, no, I've not even started it yet. And it'll be like Christmas edition. You'll like read us a chapter.
Yeah, that would be quite cool, actually. I wouldn't mind doing that. It would be quite funny. And before I go, so normally I'll just hand over to Chris. But so I've seen a lot. I've been able in my lifetime to see a lot of music festivals and a lot of people sing, and it's been fantastic. There's one individual I got to see before his ultimate death, sadly, and that was James Brown. And I love James Brown, but when you see him live, he has a hype man. There's a lot of hype men, actually, that just stand around saying, James Brown, motherfucker, James Brown. James Brown, motherfucker, James Brown. And that continues on for about 45 minutes to an hour. And then James Brown comes out and goes, good God, Joe, and get on up. And then that lasts for about 20 minutes, and then he goes. So I could spend 45 minutes to 50 minutes bigging up Chris for his razzes. But I'm just going to call him the godfather of Raz. And I'm going to hand over to Chris. There you go. You like that?
Thank you. I do, yeah. So, yeah, purchases and razzes and things this week. As Dave said, had a bit of a hot streak. Was in the same 4 Panini Revolution letter breaks with him. Got the B-hole spot, so I got all the wrestlers starting with the letter B. People like Bret Hart, Bobby Lashley, to name a couple. So
did you get Batista as well?
Batista, yeah. The autos. So I got 2 autos out of the 4 boxes, and they were Bret Hart and Bobby Lashley.
Not guaranteed auto either.
Not guaranteed auto. In fact, I got another auto in one of the later boxes, which was Liv Morgan 249. So not a bad.
I think the Bobby Lashley was 49 as well, mate.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
You are quids in, my friend. Nice. You are quids in.
A little bit of an update on those. So obviously that was sort of like last weekish. The Liv Morgan was after. I've had the Liv Morgan turn up at my address. I haven't had the Brett and the Bobby yet, so I'm starting to get a little bit worried. So we'll give you an update on that in a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay.
And hopefully they've turned up by then.
Well, you know who to go to sort it out.
Yeah, absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
He's a friend of the pod.
Yes,
so
definitely.
yeah, that's all good.
I've done a few other breaks, but they're mainly NBA and football, or soccer. A couple of case breaks there, but I won't go into that too much. So on the purchases front, I'll start off with a couple of Slam Attacks Chrome, because that's like one of my main PCs. So I needed one card to finish off the complete set, and that was a Kyle O'Reilly, just a base card. So picked that up for £1, completes the set. I then, a couple of days ago, I opened I had 8 packs to open those packs. Lo and behold, Kyle O'Reilly. So kind of a wasted purchase, but there you
Amazing.
go. Also from Summertex Chrome, I got a Mankind 225. That's an orange.
Nice.
Paid $8 on Yankee Bay for that one, American eBay. Also, a few more random ones. So I got a pack of WCW NWO cards from 1998. Paid about £5 for those. I got one pack of WCW Impel cards from 1991. Paid £1 for those. Got 2 packs of the WWF stickers from Merlin in 1993. They're the ones that have the Undertaker on the front and the black sort of artwork. Paid about £5 for those 2 packs. Also got 8 packs of the Slammertex Chrome, which I just mentioned, and 9 packs of WWE Superstars cards, which are the UK cards. And the last one is 1 pack of WWF Pogs from 1995. Paid a grand sum of £2.20 for those.
That's what we need. That's what we need.
I have not heard of Pogs in a very long time.
We need some Pog action.
Yeah. So yeah,
have you opened your Pogs
much.
yet?
I have, yes.
So what did you get in your Pogs, and how many did you get in a pack of Pogs?
So I believe I think it's about 5 Pogs and 1 Slammer per pack. I got Henry Godwin, Alundra Blaze, I think it was 2 or 3 Bret Harts, and a Bret Hart like Slammer, which are the thicker Pogs.
Yeah, the like plasticky ones that you slam them with and stuff. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, and I was mainly buying it in the hope to get a Bret Hart or a British Bulldog or the Undertaker, someone like that. So yeah, was happy boy.
I will find us more. I will find Pogs. We will have a Pog
guy. But
we need to grade a Pog. It's the only thing on my mind right now. Grade a Pog.
Pogs.
A Pogcast.
A Pogcast.
I mean that. God, Tazos. Do you remember Tazos?
Yeah, what in your crisp packets?
Crisps,
yeah.
Star Wars Tazos.
I need to grade a Tazo as well.
Looney Tune Tazos.
Yeah.
We digress, but this is what it's all about, lads.
Yeah.
This is the fun right here.
Well, we'll have a new feature on Pogs, and we'll try and get Pogs into here as well, because everyone loves a Pog if you're of a certain age.
My wife is. I've seen her Pog collection. I need to find it.
I'm going to dig mine out of the loft as well.
I'm
Actually,
going to try and find mine as well. We'll turn
Note
into
for
a
self next week.
podcast.
Pogs.
Next week, podcast. Can't wait.
And just going back what you were saying, Chris, about collecting the Slam Attacks and the Superstars, pat on the back for those, because they are massive checklists on there. Like, I know the Superstars are like over 300 cards, and I think Slam Attacks is the same, isn't it?
Slam Attacks is around sort of 200 to 300, yeah.
Jeez.
And I've probably in total bought about a case of Slam Attacks Chrome. So I've got almost complete sets as well. So at some point I'll see, trying to piece together a few more sets and then sell them on, or keep them for a later date.
Have you ever got into the UK sets, Dave, or not?
No, bits and pieces, which I think I'll come to probably other bits of podcasts that we're going to do, to be honest, and But yeah, it's not really my thing. I know with Slam Attacks, it's a game. I have no idea how to play it. I know, but I do appreciate some of the cards that they've made.
That's it. And I would say I'm not like a big Slam Attacks guy, but when I first opened the Chrome, it was like a different story. I was sold.
And
Really
I've never
nice
bought any of them over the years. Like Slam Attacks has never been something that appealed to me at all. I only really got into it for these last ones, known as the end of the Topps license.
Yeah.
And I went all in on the Superstars for the idea that this was going to be the last top set. But again, as soon as I opened the Slam Attacks, I was like, oh, I really like the design on these. I really like this. And I ended up spending a fortune on them. Not got any autos out of the Superstars, though. Seen quite a few Samoa Joes pulled out of the Superstars packs. And I think that was about it, really. I've not seen the massive checklist of legends and stuff. Not many autos are actually on their secondary markets. So I'd love to hear from anyone if they've got anything other than Samoa Joe or Nakamura out of these packs.
I pulled Nikki ASH. I do PC Nikki as well, but it comes up as it's a sticker of Nikki Cross, basically. So, and that was out of 50. So I and it was out of a single pack as well,
Nice.
out of W.H. Smith's. So I feel very lucky to have got one out of there. I didn't expect it, to be honest. So I know how rare that they were.
Have
I
you
think
done?
It was like one in 192 packs or something like that.
Yes, it's a ridiculously high number,
Yeah.
isn't it? I think when you get to the point where I'm at now, so I've nearly got a base set and all the inserts, and being a completist, I'm trying to get, the blues and oranges and the greens and work my way through. So it's going to be a long-term project. But the amount of packs I've gone through, like, it's not worth me now paying £3 a pack for an off chance of an auto. Like, it's really surprising. I'm surprised there's not more on eBay and a variety on eBay, because like the legends checklist alone, there's like 30 legends in this Superstar set, and you don't see any names appear online for them at all. There's really loads of people just stashing them.
ATP eBay, so ATP across the pond, UK. We call ourselves the ATP, by the way. So I really think that it's been shocking especially with the legend. I think I've seen Iron Sheik a few times, and I can't to my life right now tell you who else I've seen out of it, to be honest.
I think I've seen Jerry Lawler a few times.
Jerry Lawler's appeared, yeah.
Ted DiBiase, but other than those guys in the Sheik, I haven't really seen anyone else.
No.
Yeah, Ted
Legends-wise.
DiBiase I've seen actually as well. Yeah, I've seen that as well. But that's shocking considering how much depth there was in there. I just think they were so limited. But also, there is when we're talking about Slam Attacks and we're talking about Superstars, in the UK specifically, all of this product is made for kids. It's not made for collectors. So I am thinking a lot of this stuff got into the hands of kids, and the reason we haven't seen it on eBay is because it's probably been destroyed somewhere in mucky fingers, I think.
Being traded for Pokemon cards on the playground. I don't know who this is.
Yeah.
So, number 5 Undertaker.
I would not be surprised. But that's how the company's treated us. That's how Panini is treating us still now. I mean, we've got some news about that in a couple of minutes, but we are being treated like children in the UK when it comes to trading cards, when it comes to stickers. Really, the people, the hobbyists, don't really get a look in the UK unless we buy from the States.
We're here to change that. We're going to change it.
Exactly. That's exactly what we're here. We're here to give you all the tips, all the hints, how we work away getting cards from different countries, what the best ways are to obviously consolidate all your packages. And that is exactly what we're here for, to bring everyone together and try and, get people more knowledgeable and help one another out as well, more than anything. So, Dave, you alluded to there, obviously, we've had quite a lot of news crop up today. So before we start going into our next topic, let's just run through quickly some news that's dropped today. First of all, I'm going to mention the Panini Instant. So people may or may not be aware of this, but Panini in America do the Instant cards, which is very similar to the Topps Now set. Now, you could get the Topps Now cards here in the UK by the European Top site, but Panini Instant isn't available. You have to get it from the American Panini site. which is a bit of a pain for shipping, and obviously you've got the risk of customs and duties. But they did launch a Cena set, which has sold out quite quickly. So there was a $199 base set, which I think was about 15 cards, had an autograph in it and also one parallel for $199. Now, these were numbered up to 96, so there's only 96 produced. They have now completely sold out. But you can also order the actual base set yourself, and that's $50. Are you guys going to be buying that as a Cena fans, any of you, or are you going to pass on these ones?
Pass.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a Cena fan, I'd be all over it. If I was a completist of what Panini are doing with their sets right now, I'd be all over it, but I'm not. So it's a hard pass from me.
Jamie, was the Cena autograph guaranteed?
I originally thought it wasn't,
is?
but I now think it is. I think it's a guaranteed auto. Yes, you get one guaranteed auto and one guaranteed parallel. Which, but again,
for $199, was it?
Yeah, and there's out of 96, there's only 96 made. But they've now completely sold out. I just had a company to see if there was any movement, and they've now gone.
See, if I'd have known that when I saw it go up recently, I might have gone for it. But I thought it was the chance of an auto. But with the base set, I'm gonna pass. I like Cena. I bought the top Summer of Cena set, but it's a rabbit hole. I haven't bought any of the instant cards yet, and I'm too scared to, because I'll just end up trying to get them all. So yeah, it's a no from me.
Well, this is the trouble with them as well, because, like you say, it's part of that bigger Panini instant set. So these are card numbers 35 through to 50.
That's it.
And I don't know what the images is. I guess you guys can fill me in, but I think this sort of like, a Cena tribute set. And, in comparison, like last year, they had the Summer of Cena set come out, which also had a chance of an auto. And I think you can pick those up still fairly cheap on the secondary market. I think anyone inclined and is a Cena fan, do your research first of all. But yeah, if you can't get an auto version now, I'd definitely try and see if you can get a sealed Cena set, the tops one, because there's always a chance there's an auto in there, and it's obviously a lot cheaper price there.
It was a good set.
Did any of you guys go for it, or the Summer of Cena one?
Oh, no, I didn't either. I don't think I did. No, I didn't. No.
So I'm watching one on eBay. So I've got one which is not a bad price. I think it's like $35 on eBay.
Oh, that's really
Yankee
good price,
Bay. Yeah. I might pull the trigger, but yeah, I didn't buy it at the time.
I did, and I got a to 5 Cena card, so I was pretty happy with that. Yeah, but $35 I think is a good price.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was hunting. There was a Cena card out of 5 on ATB Bay for quite a while, and I was looking at it.
I think I know the one.
I just, to be honest, I'm not a Cena fan. No, I'm a Cena fan. I'm not a Cena collector. So I when I see stuff like that, I would rather someone who collects him, PCs him, to actually get that card than me just needlessly having it in my PC. So
makes sense.
That's how my brain thinks sometimes.
I had, this is not card related, but I once had a John Cena signed figure that I got from WWE auction years and years ago. It was like the first thing I bought from America. It was like the proper John Cena full auto, not like the star symbol. And I sold that when I wanted to do it when I was about 18, and I sold it for like less than 30 quid. And I now wish I kept that, because that John Cena original like full name, you don't see that anywhere now, do you? Like,
no.
I wish I held on to it, but you live and learn, don't you, really?
Yeah,
he's the worst person for autograph. I think that's what puts me off with him as well, because if you see the sticker autographs, you're getting about a third of his autograph, really, aren't you? To be honest, it's all over the place. So it is what it is. But no, fair play. If I was a Cena fan, I'd be going all over that, I think. Yeah,
I think so as well. I think if you had $200 spare and you could grab a box of that, even if you never opened it again, like that is just going to hold its market value, isn't it? So.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So that was one part of the Panini news. We've got a little bit more Panini news as well for the European market, but I believe, Dave, you've got a bit of news on AEW.
Yeah, so it was announced yesterday. I think you can tell when we're recording the show. So it was announced yesterday that AEW are coming back with their flagship for 2022, September 28th, I believe.
I think it's in the fall, similar.
Could be wrong. I don't see. I don't particularly want to review it just by the images that we've seen and by the information that has been sent out. I'd much rather do that when it actually comes out and we get a proper look at it. From what I can see, the base looks like there's a big improvement, even with the relics as well. I think they're a lot cleaner. They've taken out a lot of the inserts and put in a whole new raft in, which they look okay. To be honest, I wasn't overly looking forward to AEW when it came out on Upper Deck anyway. The first time round, I thought the inserts looked a bit hit and miss, but I loved it in the end. So they're definitely doing UD Canvas again. They're definitely doing main features again, which I think a lot of people love the UD Canvas.
Yeah,
I think
the Canvas was one of my favorites.
I love them
for sure.
I think main features was a bit Marmite for people, but it is what it is. And all of the other inserts have been swapped out. So you've got debut dates outside the ring, and also you have got AEW breakouts and the jumbo matte relics as well.
Nice.
At a view. And I think within the set, I think the noticeable changes within the sets, so the ones that I could see just quickly off the cuff, is that the Dynamite cards are now going to be numbered to 299.
Okay.
Cool.
They Pyros are still there, but they're not numbered. They have purple Pyros, which are going to be numbered to 199. So I do think that's actually quite good, because of the actual base set itself, the numbered parallels were really just the exclusive 100 and down from there, which were there weren't a lot of options basically. So I like that. I think that's progressive. I do like the fact that I really do like the fact with the relics as well. Let's talk relics. We're the relics. We're the relic podcast. So let's talk about relics. I do like the fact that it looks like they've cut out the 199. It's going to be like a base option, like we saw in the blasters.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there'll be a 250 as well.
Nice. Okay.
I do think that's the way forward. I really do. And from what the relic I'm currently looking at now from Daniel Bryan Danielson, it looks really good. So I'm quite looking forward to that. I don't know where you guys stand on like jumbo matte relics though.
Love them.
I love them.
There you go.
Oh, really?
You hate them, do you?
Oh no, I don't know really. I'm looking forward to seeing what it actually looks like, because what you get from an image sometimes is completely different when you get it into hand. And I think a lot of the bonuses from the 2021 flagship AEW Upper Deck was the fact when you got a lot of it in hand, it looked a lot better than all the pictures and stuff that you saw. There was a drawback on the 2021, which I think I need to chat about, which I think is a big kicker to how I'm going to be collecting this. How I think we should all be collecting this. So a lot of the problems with the 2021 flagship were to do with the quality of the card.
Yes.
There was a lot of miscuts.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of... it was coming away, especially with the Ty Conti cards for some reason. I have no idea why that is. It was just like coming away at the seam, basically. I don't know why.
Yeah, I had the same with the tag team cards. I had a lot of them even straight out of the hobby box, like the tops were all chipped and peeling and stuff.
I have a story about this. About the miscuts. My friend from across the pond, the other way, in the US, Travis Fowler.
Over the pond.
The return to the pond. He had the Orange Cassidy base gold 1/1 auto.
Yeah,
and he was made up that he got that. He was honestly never pulled a 1/1 before. He was jubilant. He sent it to PSA. PSA came back saying it was miscut. Wouldn't grade it. It was miscut.
Yeah, I've heard that. So
Granted, and I will put this in. Upper Deck did sort him out. I'm not going to tell you guys what he got, but they did sort him out. It was very nice of them that they did sort him out.
Good.
But I fear like my one thing from this is not the cards themselves, i.e. what I'm looking at right now. It's the quality of the product. If they don't sort that out, which I don't think they will, I want them to. I haven't got much hope that they will.
I've heard that the complaint a lot though, so you've got to think they must listen to that and say one of the biggest complaints was the miscuts and the peeling and I think
the plain relics as well were a real downside for me.
There was honestly it didn't obviously put me off because I've collected them a lot, and actually I missed this out on my purchases, to be honest. I've seen a lot of people pull one of ones this week. So I have been e-packing a bit this week. Nothing. I think my highest thing that I got was an Abaddon. I want to say Abaddon. Abaddon. God, I sound like P-Bear. Oh my God. Abaddon. Abandon. I don't like her, obviously. She scares me. And I got a 199 relic black, obviously, with a little bit of hair on it or something as well, which is lovely.
Nice.
It was not mine. I can see it on the picture, so I can see it. But I hope. I've got all the hope, and that's why I think when it does come out, PC wise, I'm going to let it come out, and I'm going to see how good the product is before I go, mind the pun, all in.
That's what I was just about to ask. Who's buying, or are we waiting to see?
I probably am going to buy straight out.
I think I will.
I bought a hobby box basically the first time round for the first year, just because it's first year. I ripped it straight away. I kind of found a lot of the inserts seem to be a lot going on them, a bit messy. And I found like the magazine cards, I know they got a lot of criticism, but the magazine cards weren't really what they could have been.
Yeah.
Since then, I say the canvas cards, like we said, I love them. I enjoyed obviously the different parallels. I found maybe the silver and the normal one looked quite similar. It was quite hard to tell the difference, weren't they? But on the whole, like now the prices come down. Like I'm now being a completist, like I'm now really scooping up those ones, and I guess those prices will come down. But yeah, I'll be getting the second year definitely.
Yeah,
same. So I'll let you know. Yeah, I mean, I've got some really high end of those cards. I've done well with what I've been able to pick up from the e-pack. Not necessarily the boxes, but with the e-pack, I've done well. And some of the cards, I mean, the main features, I want to say purple. They're out of 25.
Yeah, there's a purple, yeah.
Purple, I think, yeah.
It's amazing. I've got the Sean Spears. I collect Sean Spears, by the way, people. So yeah, it looks so good. I did have the black Jungle Boy, the 1 of 1, but I did swap it. So I didn't even have it to hand, so I swapped that as well. But I do have the 1 of 1 Jake coming from 2021, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like. I have no idea, to be honest. I think it's going to be nice.
Yeah.
And just before we move on to the last bit of news for the week, obviously they had the yellow parallels for the figures. Do you think they'll do something similar again, or do you think they'll do something totally different?
Did they not say that they were going to take the physical cards out of the figures but put codes in? Was that right?
I thought they were going digital, aren't they?
Yeah, so I think they'll put codes in and then you download the card.
Like the e-pack?
Yeah, the e-pack, yeah.
Nice, okay. That's not a bad idea at all then, isn't it, in that case? Saves an extra bit of transit, doesn't it, on them, so...
Yeah.
I love the yellows. I thought they're really nice. It's a shame that they weren't in the regular packs. I also love the rainbows, the e-pack as well. The rainbows I thought absolutely fantastic from the base.
With the yellows, have either of you guys seen the figures in the UK, like in Smith's or The Entertainer or anywhere? No, I feel like they're still maybe a set or two behind, because every time I go there, it's the same figures. So
yeah, I've been to Smith's, and the last one, they were sort of 2 or 3 series back still.
Yeah,
I think they just had the I can't remember which ones I saw, but I think there's still a few sets back, I think.
And I think where
unmatched Series 3 or something.
I think so. If they ever do hit UK stores, I just feel like it's going to be so far past when they first came out that no one's going to be really bothered by them, because you can you can go online and you can get them on eBay and things like that. So
Yeah.
I think they've missed a trick there.
They're still too expensive for me at the minute, though.
Yeah.
Again, I would love to get a yellow set. I know there is a couple of people who actually got complete yellow sets, haven't they? And that's, kudos to them for giving that a go. But yeah, that's a tough challenge.
I think I've got about 10, but I mean, mine, all I really wanted out of it, to be honest, was the Wardlow, because I think that's just going to be a massive card.
Yeah.
I think out of all the stuff that I have potentially as what I want to get graded, that would probably be top 3. Because I just think it's going to be, if he does what I think he's going to do in AEW in his career, I think that's going to be a massive rookie card. And it is his rookie card,
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
huge.
So before we move on to the next feature, we've got one last bit of Panini news. So, Chris, I'm going to hand this one to you because I know you obviously mentioned in your purchase stickers, and I believe you've got some sticker news for us as well.
We have. So it's only a little bit of news, and it's something that I've only seen today. But the press release reads, this month we will see Panini launch its first WWE sticker collection with over 400 stickers. It will be distributed by Click Distribution. Now, we were talking off air earlier, and we think that this is the first Panini sticker release since the 1997 collection that had the Rock's rookie sticker, in it. It will be followed by a trading card collection set to launch in August, timed for the September Cardiff show. So I don't know if this is going to be like a UK exclusive or a European, or do you know what I mean? We don't really know a lot else about it yet, but yeah, sounds good.
Exciting news, though.
It is exciting news,
exciting
definitely.
news.
This is massive for me.
I'm hoping, obviously the stickers are always going to be more aimed towards kids. I have an 8-year-old, so I've got the perfect excuse to buy tons and tons of stickers. But I'm hoping that with the cards, they're not, like a card game. They're proper trading cards. They're, aimed at slightly older age group, not as childlike. But I don't have a good feeling about it. I'm sure that they're going to try and get the kids with this one as well. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong. So Panini over here. So the stickers in regards to that, they still do the Premier League stickers and all that, as we've always known growing up. Like that is basically what I know Panini for over here, sticker wise. But in regards to cards and things like that, they do the football trading cards, don't they? Like the adrenaline ones and stuff, don't they?
Yes, they do. So we could get something like that, which is what I've just said I don't want to happen. A lot of their IPs are like kids films, Minions,
Fortnite,
that kind of stuff, Minecraft. So yeah, that's why my initial thought is it's gonna be something aimed at kids, and yeah, we're gonna have to still go for the American releases if we want proper trading cards. So we'll see what happens.
It's a discussion. It's a discussion in itself. When it's a game, do you actually class it as trading cards?
I do.
I do too, yeah.
It's still a card.
I struggle. I know, I get it, but its main purpose is to play. It's like trying to call Top Trumps a trading card. You know what I mean?
So there you go. So Top Trumps, I wouldn't, but Slam Attacks, for instance, I do, because there's still a checklist. There's still they're like they're all not numbered like out of 199 or anything. They're numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's kind of the reason I do. But things like Top Trumps, and there's a few other card type games out there, like I think it's like Snap and things like that. My son's got a WWE Snap game. I wouldn't class those as cards.
No.
So yeah.
So I do agree with that, to be honest, because if you think about it as well, they do have numbered parallels. They do have, in Slam Attacks as well, they do have bespoke cards, which have got nothing to do with the game, and they're numbered parallels as well.
Yeah, that's it.
So
they did relics.
So they do have an element. Yeah. No, they do have definitely an element. I find it very hard to call Slam Attacks a lot of the time, especially like their base and stuff like that, a trading card per se.
Yeah.
It's a personal thing. I struggle.
And I bloody love a sticker album. So as soon as that hits the shops, I am buying boxes and boxes of, and having piles of swaps. So if you guys are game, I will definitely be posting swaps and getting your shinies and stuff and trying to get a whole album because I do love a good sticker album.
Same, 100%. Right there with you.
So as we get more news, I say we're not going to be too far away from them landing. So hopefully by the next episode we'll have a bit more news. And we'll move on to our sort of final feature as such. So, Dave, do you want to give us the title of this next feature, and then we'll run through the feature?
So the title is called Top 5. Now, what we're going to do each week is that we're going to have a question, and that question is going to be answered by giving your top 5 of something. So this week, it's going to be quite an easy one. It's going to be your top 5 favourite wrestlers of all time. Normally, what we'd do in the segment is after we've gone through our top 5, we'll talk further in order to get a definitive top 5 of between the three of us. And then we'll record that, and then we'll probably look at it drunk at the end of the year and do a podcast and go, what the bloody hell were we thinking? And we may review it as well. You never know. We may review it next year and do it again and see if our thoughts and feelings have changed. But today we're going to just do our favourite wrestlers of all time. Our favourite wrestlers currently, our favourite wrestlers of all time, our top 5. And I think I'm going to go first. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go from 5th to 1st. So least favourite of
your favourites.
Least favourite of your favourites. So I did find it hard with 3, 4, and 5. I'm not going to lie. So there is a large amount of wrestlers who I could have easily swapped in for my 3, 4, and 5.
Is it Dude Love, Cactus Jack, and Mankind? They're the same person.
I would love it to be, because it would have been a lot easier in my mind. Actually, how would you even rate that? How would you? Now let's take a second here.
Well, Dude Love's the best.
Oh, really? So I'd go Mankind, Dude Love, Cactus Jack.
I like Cactus Jack. I think that Rumble 2000 build up where is Mankind turning into Cactus Jack, walking down and going after Triple H. I love it. Favourite moments of Cactus Jack all the way.
I'm so glad we're not making this like a definitive 5 and
the 5 faces of Foley. So you got Santa Foley and you got Mick Foley, Commissioner Foley.
Wow, that could go on for days. That argument. So look, I'm going to start off with number 5. It's a bit. I don't think a lot of people are going to like it, but JBL. So. Yes, I do apologise for certain people, because I'm pretty sure they're probably listening to this right now going, you idiot, out of all the people, JBL. I loved him as a heel. I loved him as a champion. I have a lot of fond memories of him in the early to mid 2000s. I think he was absolutely fantastic. I loved watching him headline shows. And that's why he's my number 5.
And you can't be a good clothesline as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, his lariat from hell was lovely. I do like watching clips as much as I can with that. I think it's great. and he loves to toss a midget as well. That's so no, JBL definitely number 5 for me. Jake the Snake Roberts, number 4. I mean, he's a big part of my wrestling life growing up, and he's one of my best friends. And I have a very long stories of him as well, and we just love him. So he had to be there. 3, I think, could be more contentious than JBL, and that's Jay White. Yes, I am very, very. I'm very aware that he has a very shit beard. I get that. Don't hate me. This is not a vote for his beard. This is a vote for his talent. He's not even 30 yet, and he is ruling the roost over New Japan right now. I love the way he says, "World Heavyweight Champion." I love it. I think it's great. And I'm a big Bullet Club fan as well, so I've got to put the captain up there at number 3. Number 2, The Rock has to be The Rock at number 2. He was a big part of the 2000s, 2001s. I did miss a lot. I did watch 96 and 97, I'd say, of WWE. I did miss a lot of the Attitude Era. This is generally because life got in the way. You know what I mean, going off to university, etc. So I did miss a lot of that, but he, I would say, is the big reason of why I'm here today, to be honest. So love The Rock. I was at WrestleMania 28, saw him beat Cena, once in a lifetime, twice in 2 years. I did get in to see him once in a lifetime in Miami, and he was absolutely fantastic. Love him as an actor as well. Who doesn't? Come on. And I would say, though, that my one big grail piece would be to get something signed from The Rock. I'm not a card, obviously. I'm nowhere near that yet. Maybe on my deathbed I'd buy one and go, I finally got one, and then I can go peacefully. But until then, I think it's going to be a bit of a pipe dream. Go on, sorry, James.
No, I would say that card actually stabilising quite a bit. There was 6 months ago, obviously, the prices were all over the place for that 98 Comic Images. That now seems to have stabilised around that sort of $1,000, $1,500 mark.
Oh, nice.
I don't really see that moving from there, really. So it's one of these things, like, do you do it now, or do you wait and see what happens in the future? It's a real tough one. If I was in the market, I would be grabbing one right now, because I've seen the price of them like triple in the last 10 years,
Well, when he becomes president in, was it 2032, I'm pretty sure they're going to go through the roof. But the thing is, I know that Comic Images card, 98, I've seen it. And would it be that card that I would want signed from him, though? I'm not sure. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know what I would want him a signed thing of. I'm not too sure.
The tough thing is with this as well, is like, okay, that's the only real certified Rock Auto, and that's the one everyone goes to, and the Rock's, I'm never going to sign anything ever again. But the same thing for me, like the Taker War Booty autograph from like 2001. Like that was the only certified Taker auto for years, and everyone was clambering up for it. And then, the last 5 years, you've got like hundreds of Taker autos in pretty much every single Topps release. Now, yes, that price hasn't moved that much, but Jesus, like the shine is now well and truly rubbed off that War Booty autograph. And you don't know if The Rock will do the same thing. Like, do Panini offer him a hell of a load of money, and then, you can get a Rock Auto and stuff. It's very tough.
Yeah.
Well, Panini are on a ticking time clock right now as well, don't forget. We've got another 3.5 years to go or something. So if they do it, fair play to them. When it goes back to a variation of Topps, I do not think they will get it at all. So it's up to Panini to do it now. If they do, whatever product that's going to be in will sell out.
And there'd be another conversation with this as well, but Leaf, obviously, they've got Rock relics and stuff now as Dwayne Johnson relics. You don't know if they might actually get a Dwayne Johnson away, which isn't really The Rock, but nonetheless, it's still something quite cool to have, a bit different. But watch this space. I think, like I say, if you want a Rock Auto, grab the Comic Images. But yeah, it's a tough one to know really what to do.
Yeah, I say it's not like I'm on the fence. It's that it will happen, but it just at a certain time, I'm sure the stars will align and it will happen, but it's not going to be tomorrow. So sad, but I'm looking forward to it. And my top one, number one, and it was one. And one. Oh God, a bit of bully.
We should do the top 5, shouldn't we? That should be our noise sound effect every week. 5. Anyway, we'll move on. Sorry, mate.
No, put it in. That'd be great. Are we allowed? Is it?
Be fine.
Have a look. See if you can find it on the internet. Yeah, if we're allowed, do it. Bret Hart. So there's never been anyone else who has even come close to being in my number one spot all my life. So I started watching wrestling, WWF, in 1988. And by then, he was always the underdog, but he was loved within the UK and Germany as well. Like massive followings over ATP for both countries. They loved Bret Hart. It was going away from the era of Hogan and Warrior slowly and moving into Hart and Michaels. You could see it happening. You could feel it. And you were either a Michaels fan or and I was never a Michaels fan personally.
Same.
I was always a Bret Hart fan.
Always.
And yeah, always. And I think a lot more people. I think a lot of people, that's what it was like for them. So yeah. I could never imagine ever having anyone else in that top spot, to be honest. I have recently got a signed autograph from him, which is lovely. I do have his rookie card as well. I will be investing in more with Bret. I don't think you can go wrong with investing in Bret. I think his stuff is just going to go through the roof as the older he gets, to be honest. Yeah. And so, I collect a lot of Legends stuff, but bits here and there and everywhere. But I think if anyone in my Legends part of my collection's it definitely will be Bret. So I'll move on then. Chris.
Hello. Top 5. So my number 4 and 5 are kind of one and the same to a degree. They might not like that. I just said that. I'm going to put in number 5 Zack Ryder / Matt Cardona, and I'm going to put in number 4 Kurt Hawkins / Brian Myers. Been following them throughout their career with WWE. The last show that I went to was in 2007, so it was kind of that time period where the Edgeheads started. And then, I've just followed throughout their careers, was a big Ryder mark back in the day when he was like the US champion, and then became a big Kurt Hawkins mark when he was on his losing streak. And then, to see it all pay off the way it did at WrestleMania was perfect. And then to see where they've come since leaving WWE, it's, incredible. Can't say anything bad about either of them. Big fan. So, they're my 5 and 4. Now, my number 3 is going to be The Undertaker. One of the first sort of people that really I paid attention to when I started watching wrestling. And then, his career just speaks for itself. As a child, so I was sort of, 5 or 6 when I first started watching, scared the bejesus out of me. I was petrified of him. And he's just, it's, one of them things, as you both know, his career's just gone from strength to strength. I wasn't a massive fan of the American Badass era. I kind of preferred the Undertaker, so to speak. But again, he is somebody that, as you were saying earlier, like his autos have become more attainable now. So it is definitely right near the top of my list is to pick up a Taker auto at some point.
I think they're affordable.
They are.
I think they're affordable.
I think they're affordable now.
You're looking at about 250, 300 quid.
Yeah, and then
I'd say,
the right time, right place, right offer, and I might even get it a little bit cheaper. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. Is as we've seen with Panini so far, both releases have had Taker autos. So whether the next few will also have them, we'll wait and see. And the more there are, the easier it is for myself to get one. I'm not overly fussed of the rarity or anything. It can be a base auto, but something I'm going to work towards in the coming years. Number 2 is Hulk Hogan. So as I said, the era that I started watching, I was a big Hulkamaniac, had all the Hulk merch you could imagine, rocked a t-shirt, bandana, title belt, the lot.
How many shirts did you tear as a child?
I did actually do that. Yes, I did do that. Didn't go down too well, but big Hogan mark. So somebody recently said, but as a person, and I said I'm not talking about Terry Bollea or whatever. I'm talking about Hulk Hogan. So I'm a Hulk Hogan fan. Always will be. And then the number one, it's the same as David's. It's Bret Hart.
Yeah.
As he said, when I was a kid, you were either Bret or Shawn, and Bret was a good guy, Shawn was a bad guy. I hated Shawn Michaels until a bit later on. Yeah, I appreciate his work now that he was doing back then, but at the time, hated him.
If Jamie doesn't have Bret Hart as his number one, this is going to be. I'm going to be gutted. You know what I mean?
As I said earlier in the show, I did pick up a Bret Auto. It's just a base auto, but it's like a real grail piece for me. So really looking forward to getting that in the mail. And I have, obviously, David, you said you've got his rookie. I potentially have his rookie because I have a box of 1987 tops that I've never opened. Cool. I'm too afraid to open it. So yeah, I'm hoping there's a rookie in there if I ever grow a pair and open the box. So yeah, that's
the only thing about
five.
That is
what about you, Jamie?
Not to put you off about it. Yeah. Is that the
gum?
The gum.
Yeah, that's why I haven't opened it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm too scared.
It is a bit. I don't know. I've seen people obviously open it up, and there's been a big grease mark across it.
Yeah,
I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky to. I was looking for one that I wanted to have perfect, and I was basically given it by a friend.
Yeah,
and it's perfect, and I can't believe my luck basically.
The problem I have at the moment is I got a real good deal on the box, and it was a couple of years ago, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, and the box price has gone crazy since then. So in my mind, I'm like, I could almost triple, quadruple my initial money that I paid for it, or I could open it and be really disappointed because the Bret Hart rookie has the gum stain on it, so I'm on the fence.
Well, my personal view on that, if you've held it for wax, right, you sell it for wax because you would have opened it by now.
Yeah, definitely.
If I buy older products, I'm buying them to tear. I am buying them to open them up, see what I can get out of them, because but I'd only do that knowing that I'm going to get my investment back.
Yeah, so that's it. So if the value had stayed even like £100 over, I would have opened it by now, but because it shot up so much, I'm like, I could probably just buy a really nice Bret rookie.
I was going to say you could buy a Bret and maybe have some change for a taker as well.
That's it. Yeah, you never know.
It's a tough call. It's like you say, what do you? Because there's obviously the fundament of ripping a pack as well, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah. Especially it's the year I was born, and it's got the Bret rookie, so it is something I'm tempted by, but I'll keep you posted on that one.
Yeah, I if you're going to sell it for when it's hot. And I mean, we're hot now, right? With a lot of the old products, and I think they're going up further and further.
They are definitely.
Especially now, there's a lot of light on Bret Hart, and obviously this generation of wrestlers are doing a lot of homages and sort of sequences. Like Bret is back on everyone's radar again, isn't it? And I think he kind of slipped out the way a little bit. One to watch, I think.
Definitely. But what about yours, Jamie? What's your top five?
Well, I'm going to disappoint you both. So Bret isn't in my top five at all. Not because I don't respect Bret. I am a big fan of Bret, and when he came over here for a UK tour, I was straight up there to sort of meet and greet and do the autos and all that type of thing. So I'm a big fan of Bret. Because you guys are such big Bret fans as well, I will give you some Bret Hart card tips as well on a future episode as well about some cool cards that have been out over the years that you may have missed while you weren't collecting. So that's another one I can chat to you about. Yeah, my top five. So I mentioned at the top of the hour, I really got into wrestling in late 90s, early 2000s. I kind of knew a little bit about wrestling. I've gone back since then. So my top 5 are all going to be around what I call like the peak for me. So first of all, I'm going to be putting in there as number 5 is Chris Jericho. Big fan of Jericho. Been a fan of him. Intercontinental champion. In my eyes, he's like my favorite IC champ. Enjoyed that sort of era going on with him there. Then obviously becoming a heel, becoming one of the greatest of all time, and everything with Jericho. Like I've thoroughly enjoyed everything Jericho's done, and the reinventing of himself and stuff. You know, he's pretty much hit the mark every time and sort of done something new. The triangle drop kick, I love that as a move. The lion salt, obviously the first person I ever saw do that. Just everything about Jericho was like really cool back then. And even like card collecting and stuff like the relics and things like that. I've always enjoyed the multicolours of Jericho. So yeah, Jericho number 5. Then I'm going to be putting in the Hardy Boys. For me, again, another exciting team. You know, early 2000s, everyone was a Hardy Boys fan. Everyone loved Lita. You know, and that was just something that was really cool at the time. Like they were totally different. So the Hardys are in the top 5. We'll get into the sort of the PC later on, but you know, Jeff Hardy is someone that I now PC purely because his autograph is damn cool. A lot of the relics are really colourful. You know, in the past they've had glow in the dark relics and everything else. So yeah, big Hardy Boys fan, big Jeff Hardy fan. So he's number 4. Then I'm going to be putting in Undertaker because he's got to be in the top 5. But I'm going to upset you here, Chris, that I really like Biker Taker. So 2000s rolling Taker with the bike, the last ride, the choke slam where he hold people up like a fence post, you know, putting through announce tables. The hardcore champ Undertaker I loved, you know. The hardcore match at Vengeance where he puts RVD through the tables off the stage, I thought was one of the coolest spots I'd ever seen at that point in time. So Biker Taker is definitely on there. So he's in there. Yeah. Number 2. I'm going to put in there Jushin Liger. So he's someone really, I was quite sheltered as a wrestling fan. I think most of us, all we watched as a kid really was WWF. And as you've grown up and sort of found out more about other things, I never watched WCW because we never had Sky or anything like that. So yeah, Jushin Liger is someone I've discovered going back in time, watching the Best of Super Juniors and really watching his career through like YouTube and sort of learning that side of things. Had the chance to see him live at Rev Pro show in London. Nice. Which was billed as his like first time ever here in the UK. Yeah. And he was actually wrestling Prince Devitt, Finn Balor, which was supposed to be a first time ever match. So that was something that I was desperate to go and see. And then since then I've gone to collect Liger cards as well. So there's quite a lot of, you know, quite good cards in there as well.
York Hall Classics right there.
Oh, mate, York Hall is such a nice venue as well. Have you ever been to York Hall as well?
Many times. I love it. I love it's just the feel. I've only gone for wrestling.
Me too.
I've never been for boxing, and I think it would be just as magical. It's such it feels like the top row of people who are on the stands.
Yeah.
Are on top of you basically. It's such a good atmosphere.
I kind of feel the same with the Blackpool Gardens as well. The Winter Gardens in Blackpool. Seeing both the NXT shows there. And the takeover stuff, like I love the Blackpool Winter Gardens as a venue. I think it's the same thing. You feel like everything's on top of you. I just love it. I think the acoustics as well really add to those things. So yeah, Jushin Liger number 2, and number 1, Shawn Michaels. I'm afraid.
Good God!
But hear me out here though. I didn't watch wrestling when Shawn Michaels was around that new generation Attitude Era type thing. So I obviously just after he got injured, so I really knew Michaels from his return in 2002. And my first part of Shawn Michaels was the Triple H feud, and obviously that big baby face, and you know Triple H being the most hated man at the time. Like that really launched that sort of Shawn Michaels part of me, and I really got into Shawn Michaels, then into the Jericho feud, and going through from there. And I thought Michaels was really cool. But then obviously since then I've then watched classic Michael stuff and seen it back. Yeah. So yeah, Shawn Michaels, my number 1. Same thing again there, really.
I'm with you with that, with regarding when he came back.
Same, yeah.
With the Elimination Chamber match, and from there,
yeah,
he was. I had that on VHS. I did VHS. I did have the VHS of that, and I loved it. I thought it was a very, really, really great new take on Hell in a Cell, basically.
Yeah,
let's put pods on it and stuff like that. I know that his costume wasn't ready and he wore basically shit brown tights, like purpley shit brown tights. I don't know why. And I get it, but he was better, I think, on the second time round for me personally.
So,
That entire summer run as well, I didn't really like the initial, obviously, pretending to reform DX Triple H thing, but from the moment that we got beat up backstage, if you started the feud from there, then that whole summer season, like through that feud, it is such a good feud. And then going straight into a Jericho thing from the Rumble, and then going back round to Triple H again. I'll just, that early comeback for Michaels was amazing for me.
So that match, well, but the matches he had with Jericho are great.
Again, later on,
But the I'd say as well his feuds with Kurt Angle, I loved.
Really good matches.
They were just polar opposites, but they complemented each other so well. And obviously
Hogan,
Cena as well.
Yeah.
I'd say Cena. The last, they had a last man standing match over here, didn't they?
That's right. That was like the full hour, wasn't it? Basically,
Yeah, and that. I think that always rates very high on the top whatever of Cena and Shawn as well.
Yeah.
So good on them. And like honestly, I think he's a great wrestler. I think you're either Brett or you're Shawn. I think that's it.
Yeah. And I think that Shawn Michaels same thing, like year after year, like he went from feud to feud to feud, and everyone had like a match in there that could be one of the best of all time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, obviously, this generation of wrestlers as well. Like they're either fans of Bret Hart or fan of Shawn Michaels, aren't they? And that style comes through for them. So, I think between us all, I don't think we could actually make a top 5 between us to rank them down. But I think between us, it gives everyone an idea of who we are as wrestling fans, really.
Yeah, I couldn't discuss it with you to try to make a top 5 out between us. It's impossible to do, right? We could be here all evening, and still not get. Yeah, exactly.
But what about, do you guys PC all of your top 5, or just a few of the guys, or how do you go in there?
So I'm a bit weird when it comes to this kind of stuff because I break it down into 3 at the minute. I've got AEW, I've got WWE, and so AEW is just kind of exactly, and everything else. AEW is kind of obviously solid of what AEW is right now because there's not been much of the product, right? WWE, I'd say, is all over the place. I do PC quite a lot of the current people, like Dolph, Nikki ASH, as it were, Naomi, a few other people, AJ, Sheamus, etc. But I wouldn't say if I like the card, I will get it. You know what I mean? I've got quite a few of their autos. I'm not, I don't collect everything of that person.
No, I think that's quite dangerous as well.
Yeah, I don't think you can ever do it. I think like if you can be a completist on one person, I'd clap you because I think that's just
so hard.
Yeah,
exactly. So, but I do have like other sections within my WWE. Obviously, I've talked about earlier on with Legends. I have Relics. I have Rookies, which is just random at the minute. I do love the Fully Loaded from the last year, even though it came out this year. Did it come out this year?
Beginning of the year, February time.
Beginning of the year, yeah. So I forget. But I love that. Even though it wasn't the relics generally weren't specific to the event, I'd say, but they were really cool. 2020 was great as well. So I do have quite a few of those on the go. I do have some graded cards. I've never graded myself, and we'll get to grading in future episodes. I do have some graded cards. I do have a Zach. I have a graded Zach with his autograph on the top that I won from a Raz, Chris. So that may be a potential swap in the future.
Yeah.
You never know.
We work out a little deal ski on that one.
Yeah, I think it's a PSA 9. I think Zach didn't want it.
He only does PSA 10s,
he only does PSA 10s, and I think P-Bear offered it to him. He said no, and then it went on a Raz with a signature, but it looks fantastic. So there you go. So And obviously everything else, and the everything else seems to be growing by the day, especially with my Monoro, which I've just purchased today as well. What about you, Jamie?
So, as mentioned, I PC the Hardys, but mainly Jeff Hardy. I started trying to do a bit of a rainbow. So I went after the Leaf 2014 because I managed to pick up the numbered 1 of 10, and I also picked up the 1 of 99. And I thought, I'm going to get all the number ones. And they've never surfaced ever again. So I'm now stuck with the 2. But yeah, Jeff Hardy relics, I try and get. If I ever see a multicolour Jeff Hardy relic for any of the WWF sets, I will grab them. Just because I think they look really cool. And the TNA ones I don't really go after just because there's so many colour red. I don't really like the TNA runs as such, really. So yeah, other than that, PC wise, War Games, I mentioned at the top of the show. I was at War Games 2019. That was my first US event. It was actually the first event I took my dad to as well. So it was quite good to be there. Now I know there's relics for them. I now PC them. So I'm now trying to get basically all the fully loaded auto relics, which I'm nearly done. So that's cool. My big PC. But yeah, most of my collecting is obviously base sets and trying to get completed sets. So yeah, my PC is really just trying to hoard cards more than anything, really.
Yeah. Fair play to you to doing that, man. I know how difficult it is to get base sets of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I've done it with recent sets, and it's difficult to do, man. It's not an easy task, and you really have to be focused.
Yeah.
And you have to love it as well. You really have to love it.
It's harder now than it used to be. So before obviously the big boom, say 5 years ago, for example, you could pick up base sets quite cheaply online, like $10-15 for like the sets from like 10 years ago. And then like blasters and stuff. Like I used to get a lot of blasters, so I used to get guaranteed, relic in any blaster, sort of when the early Tops years. So you used to pick up a blaster like $30. You used to get a load of those, then you get pretty much a base set in 3 or 4 boxes. So that was not too bad. And then you see then any half decent relic, you could then sell it and then obviously pay the next load. And any singles, you could pick them up quite cheap. It's just so tough now. Even in a hobby box, like you don't get a full base set in a hobby box.
Yeah.
So that makes it a bit harder. You sort of think, well, I've got to buy 2 hobby boxes to get a base.
The worst thing is when you're 4 cards short and you're like, are you serious?
Well, that's where I'm at now with a lot of my base sets, I've either got to wait for ComC for them to come down in price or, or it just sits half complete forever. And I've got so many base sets from the last, 7 or 8 years that, I got most of them, but then Tops had an insert set which was quite tough and I now haven't got them. So, it's got its pitfalls, but yeah, it's never ending. Like I'm always on the hunt, like constantly scouting eBay for random keywords and got to save searches and stuff. And there'll be something to talk to in the future about what we got set up in our eBay alerts and stuff, because I'm sure we've all got different things that we would have ping up. I enjoy doing it, but again, it's having the storage side of it. I don't know if you can see. This is audio for people, but behind me, I've got all my storage boxes at the moment. I had a load of top loaders turn up today to start going through the base sets. So it's never ending. And like I top load everything. So I ordered 15 packs of top loaders and I've already gone through and done a load of stuff that needed top loading this afternoon. So always doing something with them.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris? You in your PC, do you PC everyone in your top 5?
So I would say, I PC all of the guys I put in my top 5. Not like religiously and not, as you said, not everything, because it's just, you'll just never, I'm not saying you'll never do it, but it'll just be almost never ending. New releases come out. There's different parallels. I saw how hard David, how hard it was with David and the Sean Spears in the AEW. And even that, there wasn't tons and tons and tons of cards, but even that looked really hard in my opinion. So I'll pick up what I can. Occasionally I'll see something I've never seen before, and I'm just like I've got to grab that because I've never seen it. I'm that kind of collector. With the major pod guys, I'll pick up again. I'll just pick up anything I can. I've got lots of their autos, and then kind of like the other guys, so Swoggle, Chelsea, Smart Mark, just anyone kind of associated with them. Card Foundation podcast, of course. In terms of my other PCs, I collect Slam Attacks Chrome. So I've got a lot of the numbered coloured cards for Slam Attacks Chrome. Got some real nice ones. I think I've got a to 5 Oscar and a to 10, which is the black colour, and it's an Undertaker card. So they're two of my favourite ones from that set. I've also got quite a few of the coloured Cena cards, the NWO ones. I think I've got green, gold, speckle, and just normal refractor. So yeah, I'm always looking out for Slam Attacks Chrome cards. And I'm also, as I said earlier in the show, I'm into NBA and soccer. So I collect Minnesota Timberwolves cards and Southampton FC football cards. But that's about it on my
Someone's
PC.
got to.
Thank you very much. Both of those
I think you got the main market there, haven't you?
Yes, and it helps me out because I'll buy Southampton cards from America and they're dirt cheap because no one supports them there. So not many people support them there. There you go. But yeah, that's my PC really.
So I say we'll go through our own PCs as time goes on, especially in the purchases we'll, go on. I think we're pretty much finishing up this debut episode. I think we've covered a lot of ground and hopefully it gives everyone a bit of an introduction of what to expect and what to expect from us, as collectors as well, really. So, to round up this week's episode, let's do our new top 5 for next week. What should we do as a topic next week?
It's a difficult one because there's so much. Chris, what are you thinking?
Well, I had an idea. As we are the Squared Circle Relics podcast, we should maybe do Relics. What do you guys think? Relics, okay?
Relics works for me. Do you want to do the ones you own, or do you want to do Dream Relics or top 5 that you've seen?
I think top 5 of all time.
Top 5 you've ever seen, or in your opinion?
Just know of top 5.
Top 5.
Yeah.
Of the relics that you know of that you think are top 5 worthy.
Cool.
And then between them, we'll make a top 5 based off the ones we generate. Yeah.
We'll try. Yeah.
And if we miss any, please don't moan. No, this is to our audience. Please don't moan at us. We're not perfect, and we I'm sure that you'll have different opinions as well, but we're trying our best.
There are some very, very cool relics out there. I will go deep into the archive and try and bring 5 cool ones to the table next week.
Nice.
I think I've got a top 3 just off the top of my head.
Yeah, I've got a couple that I'm definitely wanted to add in there.
Fine, okay. Sure. So next episode round then, top 5 will be top 5 relics. We'll run through obviously the new purchases that we'll be picking up over the next few weeks. We'll also run through, of course, any more top tips and anything else that we come across in the news-wide side of things, and also give you a bit more of a sort of how-to guide as well, to do various different things. So we'll bring that to you on the episode next week. So to finish off, we'll give each other just a quick plug to find out if you want to get a hold of us on the socials or where you can find us. So if you're on Facebook, you can head us to a brand new page, the Squared Circle Relics Facebook page. Currently building up sort of brand new people to like and follow on there. We post in our own purchases, images, and sort of building up a bit of a community on there as well. And if you watch that space very carefully, there may be a competition running very, very shortly. So keep an eye on the Facebook page. If you want to follow me personally on social media, you can find me on Twitter. I do a lot of the wrestling card stuff on there. Take part in the hashtag Wrestling Card Wednesday as well, and always put something interesting up for that. So I'm at Jamie Stocker on Twitter. And if you follow me on there, I'll message you back. And obviously, if you're wrestling card related, I'm always happy to chat people about giving advice and things like that. And that's pretty much where I'm. You guys, how do people get hold of you if you want to interact with you?
The thing I think I use the most is Instagram. So as I said at the start of the show, it's Cambridge Trading Cards. I'm on there as that, and I'm also on YouTube, same name. Most of my unboxing videos, it's all cards. It's generally wrestling. I think I looked recently, and I think it's something like 27 of the last 30 videos have been wrestling. So you get the odd NBA and football one in there, but mainly that. And also, as Jamie said, check out the Facebook page. I will post. I spoke about the POG packet that I opened earlier from 95. So I'll post a picture of what POGs I pulled on there. And again,
top quality pog shit. That's what we need. Top quality pog shit.
But yeah, so they're the main ways to get a hold of me. If, as Jamie said, if you ever want to talk wrestling cards, just message me on one of those platforms, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And what about you, Dave?
So I think the best way that I am contactable on the social nets. I'm 40. Come on, social networking.
On the World Wide Web.
On the World Wide Web. Surf that, surf that mother. I'm D_Lloydy boy on Instagram. So come be friends with me, and we'll talk about stuff. So I will leave this with a plug as well. I have to. Our friends at Card Foundation pod. So we're all members here. We're all of the ATP. We're all members of the Card Foundation pod. I don't know what you guys are on, but I'm on the Cards 316 VIP membership.
Same, yeah.
Are you guys the same?
Yeah,
Same.
Exactly the same. And that's how we all become one another as well, actually, didn't we?
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. So we all kind of gathered on the chat group on Facebook via there, and that's how we kind of found each other. So what I would say is, please, if you can, obviously their pod drops, I believe, every Thursday.
Every Thursday, yeah.
Every Thursday. But if you become a Patreon subscriber, you can get that even earlier. That will drop normally on a Tuesday. There's so many on the Cards 316 VIP member patron thing. There's so many different benefits that you get from it, which are absolutely fantastic. You get a free card delivered to you every month that they create.
Sometimes you get multiple because they send you multiple.
Sometimes they send you multiple, and sometimes, if you're very lucky, you get an autograph. Sometimes it's the 20, sometimes it's the 10s, sometimes you're even lucky and you get it to 1.
The ounce of ounce.
Yeah, the ounce of ounce. And that comes, and they do like a little spin the wheel to find out who's going to get that per month. They do a free Raz as well, so they normally Raz off. Well. Yeah, once a month.
Yeah, but you're forgetting the most important thing here, right? If you joined their Patreon page, you then get in the elite club of the ATP Facebook Messenger chat.
Oh wow! There you go. There you go.
No questions asked. So there you go.
Yeah, no questions asked. But honestly, guys, if you haven't checked them out, please do. They are our friends, and support each other no end. Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll say this wraps up episode 1. Thank you for listening to us over the last couple of hours. We'll be here hoping in a couple of weeks' time with a second episode. And thank you very much for listening. And from us three, we'll catch you on the next episode.